Mehdi asking Fran about you and Mike.
Joined streamers on their shows. Hasan Piker, we've talked about on this show before, who was regularly attacked.
That's so funny. Hasan Piker, we've talked about on this show before. Just say my friend Hasan Piker, Mehdi. I literally was on your other show 5 days ago. Mr. Journalist, I must be impartial, of course. Hasan Piker, who we've talked about on this show before. Oh, he's so professional, dude. Dude still has it paywalled. We're dying to see it. Yeah, you just gotta bite the bullet there, you know?
By mainstream media for Democrats going on his show. But you also went on the show of a streamer called Mike from PA, who was caught on tape referring to Jewish ethnicity as invented and demonic. He has since apologized for those remarks, but obviously an outrageous statement. Your campaign responded by condemning anti-Semitism, but also by saying, quote, Fran is willing to go anywhere. If we refuse to show up, those voters will hear only from the right. I'm just wondering, though, as a democratic socialist who's trying to build a coalition and speak to anyone, anywhere, should there be limits on where Democrats are and are not willing to go when it comes to media appearances? Or can Democrats not afford to say no to any?
Wisconsin Republicans Online are telling Republicans to vote for Francesca Hong in the Dem primaries. Oh, it's so awesome. They're doing it. Oh, that's so sick. First of all, they tried to do this. They tried to play this off with like Abdul El Sayed as well. And then very quickly we're like, actually, never mind. Don't do that. And let me tell you something, okay? Let me tell you something. It is going to fail. It is going to fail. It is going to blow up in their faces. It's awesome. Let them try to do the fucking Pied Piper. They don't even realize Donald Trump was the Pied Piper. Donald Trump was presented as the best guy to defeat by Hillary Rodham Clinton and her campaign. Okay? I am telling you right now, Francesca Hong will destroy Tiffany. Okay? Tom Tiffany's got nothing. And these people are boomers as well. The very same boomer mindset that you hear from establishment Democrats who are just like, oh, this is going to be a toss-up if it's Francesca Hong. It's going to be a toss-up. We can't let her be elected as the main candidate. It's going to be a real issue. Those people are wrong. Okay? Those people are wrong. It's that simple. Francesca Hong will destroy Tom Tiffany. I've been telling you, I know for a fact. I know it in my heart. I know it in my soul. Let them underestimate us. Let them underestimate us. Let them think that let them think that they have an easy path to victory. Okay? It's fine. I've been duking it out with pollsters and having this conversation with as many pollsters as possible who legitimately think that Francesca Hong is a toss-up, whereas Mandela Barnes is not. Okay? It's bullshit. They're wrong. They're underestimating the youth voter turnout, and they're underestimating it in the primary right now. They're miscalculating even in the primary, which in the general will be explosive. In the regular midterm elections against the Republican matchup, it is going to be insane. They are undercounting youth voter turnout. Trust. Hasan, you're wrong. Carlos Dixon is the way to go. Shut the fuck up, chatter. Shut up, please. Please stop. It was really funny when it was literally Carlos Dixon in the chat being like, bro, you should really look into this Carlos Dixon guy. Not the signs guy. Yeah, Carlos Dixon, whose primary opposition is DSA. his Insta goes hard, but a smidge unhinged. Yes, he is completely unhinged. Anyway, let's see what Francesca Hong had to say to Mehdi Hasan. Francesca Hong be like, we're Baltimore Maoists. We critique socialism in order to improve it. That's what she's going to say here, okay? That's what her answer should be, honestly. Her answer should be, we critique socialism to improve it. Yeah. We critique socialism to improve it. We're Baltimore Maoists.
I think making the assessment in who you are getting your message to, as opposed to how you may be uplifting another platform, the host, the streamer. These are two different assessments. And if every elected official were to be responsible for endorsing or having to answer to what every other host or streamer of a platform that you are going on has said, I think it would get more and more difficult for folks to even hear other ideas, different visions, contradicting opinions. And so how people decide where and who to share their message to, I think that assessment also depends on the individual. There are going to be places where I feel as though I would not be safe. And what are the precautions or the different guardrails that I'm putting up for myself? And
Matthew's trying to take down Mike and socialists. He's gross. Why is he asking these questions? Dude, what are you talking about? No, this is classic dog. This is classic Mehdi Hasan, okay? He is always going to ask these questions as he's always going to ask these questions because these are questions that need answers because mainstream media has turned this into a fucking major issue, right? Calm down. If what Mike from PA said previously, why are Dems allowed to go on Fox? Wait, what?
and my staff, my community by going on a stream. I think for both Mike for PA and with Hasan, they have many, many viewers and listeners who are engaged in political issues. And it's important that, one, we get our message out on what we are trying to build here in Wisconsin, which is permanent affiliability and working class people power, but also looking at, are we platforming someone on our platform by going on and sharing this message? And so I think it's an assessment of both the individual who, it's an assessment of how I feel and where I feel safe. It's an assessment of who the message.
Only critique as a Baltimore Maoist to this is this is too wordy of a defense. Like, I think like tackling the question is good. I think just saying like, look, we got to go to every space. We got to talk to the masses. And that includes people whose opinions I'm sometimes not going to agree with. And that's perfectly valid. That's it.
Just getting to, and whether or not the platform is growing or not.
Appreciate that. People might wonder, would you have gone on that show, the Mike from PA show, had you known about his comments about Jewish people? Like, would you go again?
I was not aware of the comments, and I do know that Mike has apologized for those comments. We need additional context, and I think that depending on where,
yeah, I hate the soundbite shit. I hate the soundbite shit. It's like if someone genuinely feels this way, like if someone has legitimate hatred, legitimate Jew hatred in their heart, in their commentary, in their advocacy. You can't, it's not going to be like one thing that you caught, okay? Like it's not going to like accidentally it slipped out, okay? Like that's not how this works. We talk for hours and hours and hours a day, right? Here we go again. No, it's just fucking ridiculous. I find it fucking ridiculous. Like, the reason why we say Nick Fuentes is a neo-Nazi is not because he one time accidentally slipped up or something. It's because he consistently makes Jew hatred a primary focus of his advocacy. That's not how this works. Okay, the one time someone actually misspeaks, or the one time someone is like, instead of saying Zionism, says like Judaism is a religion or whatever the fuck, right? Like, it is it is very obviously a ridiculous argument that you're trying to fucking lean into, right? Like, we have to be a little bit more adult about this stuff. It's very frustrating. I know in a clip culture universe that we exist in, where we're just like, oh, well, there you go. That clip looks bad. It's fucking bullshit. And it's not even just Mike. It's just myself. It's every single person. We do this to every single person. I don't like it. I don't like it because it's insincere. I don't like it because that's not how human beings operate, right? It's just bullshit. Like, oh, it's spoiled. This person is ruined now. They're impure. They're unclean. And the side that is, the thing that is very frustrating about this attitude in general, this is not even a defense of like what Mike has said. He's apologized for it. But the thing that's frustrating to me about this is like, this is a problem for liberals too. Because our opposition broadly, if we are against the Republican Party, if we are anti-fascist, if we are the oppositional forces, whether we disagree with one another ideologically or not, doesn't matter. If we are opposing fascism, Trumpism, MAGA, reactionary thought, we have to recognize that our opposition does not play by these rules. They do not play by these rules at all. They just say, who gives a shit? Suck my dick. Yeah, I said what I said, and move on. And that is an unnecessary weapon, an unnecessary point of leverage that we give our opposition. Okay? It's very frustrating. Republicans don't apologize. They double down. Liberals, on the other hand, create this like false sense of moral purity around choice quotes. They create this false sense of perfection that doesn't exist in the real world. Okay? It does not exist in the real world. And the same thing goes for disagreements. I mean, this is leftist purity as well. Leftist purity politics is toxic. I oppose it. I yell about it all the time. What do I always say? You're not going to agree with every single thing that I say. It's just not going to happen. Think about loved ones that you have in your life. Do you agree with every single thought? Do you agree with every single take? Do you agree with everything that they've said throughout their lives? Of course not. Of course not. That's not how the world works. Okay? So why is it that the expectation of your, favorite political commentator is that you have to agree with every single thing that they've ever said, and that the expectation from them is that, they have to be perfectly pure, like a brand. They have to be perfectly pure like a brand, and they have to be infallible. That's impossible. And if one side is demanding infallibility and the other side is not, the side that's not demanding that will always win in the long run. Okay? It's that simple. So I say, don't lean into oppositional framing, and don't cave or capitulate to silly right-wing takes like this. There was apparently a TikTok where someone read one paragraph of Marx and called him sexist. They out here clipping Das Kapital. Yeah, this kind of stuff is toxic. And it's self-defeating. And it's only self-defeating for the left. Liberals use it towards their left flank. Republicans use it towards liberals and their left flank broadly. It only works in one direction. It only works directionally towards the left. And the only reason why it works is because the audience is more receptive to this kind of thing, no matter how cynical it is. I'll give you one example. I'll give you one great example of this. Abdul El-Sayed versus Haley Stevens. Abdul El-Sayed has been called an Islamic terrorist, an Islamic-style woman hater, an aggressive Arab, over and over and over again. He's not electable. He's Muslim. He's too Muslim. It is classic Islamophobia, the idea that this brown guy is scary and hates women, when he has never demonstrated women hatred in any way, shape, or form. Okay? Yet, the critiques of Abdul only work in one direction. They claim he's a misogynist over and over again. Okay? Abdul has even come out and said, we should not focus on, I've seen online people attacking my opposition. They should stop doing that. He didn't take ownership over it, which is fine, but he still recognized it, right? He did the classic Bernie bro lean in the same way that Bernie had done in the past, where he apologized for the Bernie bros. He was forced to apologize for it. It was a bad decision for Bernie, and it was a bad decision for Abdul as well. Okay? It's only one side that has to constantly abide by the false standard of perfection that people create. Okay? So I say, if your opposition is engaging in cynical framing, if your opposition is engaging in this cynical framework that they do not abide by, don't play by those rules. Don't play by their rules. You do not have to play by their rules at all. That's simply not true, says the beefy man. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, the new thing is ogre on a pike. They're saying that he called Haley Stevens an ogre. That's not true. He was calling John Fetterman an ogre, right? And these guys are cynical monsters, which is why you should never play by those rules. You should never play by the rules because they don't play by the rules that they present. Okay? They're bad faith. It's that simple. So just keep pushing your values, keep promoting your worldview, reach as many people as possible. Use the media wave to your advantage. Use the controversy to your advantage to reach a broader audience. When they yell at you over this stuff, you turn around and you say, hey, look, I'm about this, and that. Okay, I'm about Medicare for all. I'm about stopping the endless militarism. I'm about bringing some of those resources back to Michigan, back to the United States of America, and that's what I'm going to fight for. And that's precisely the reason why there are, millions, tens of millions of dollars being funneled into this campaign. That's it. You have your moral convictions. You have your values. You don't have to apologize for a cynical bastardization of your worldview. Okay? This entire conversation about black voters, for example, I think black voters are going to shock the world as well. I think that the black voting bloc sometimes has the capacity to operate as a voting bloc that is somewhat more timid in their decision making, but even then, there is a massive generational breakdown here, and I think the black voters are not going to go in the direction that people think they will as well. Okay, and we'll talk about that. But black voters in general are far more progressive. Black voters in general are far more progressive than the way people think they are, than the way that they're presented in the media, than the way that their establishment figureheads present the black voting bloc. Consistently, the black demographic in this country is the most progressive demographic, okay? There are polls conducted on different races, different ethnicities in this country. Black people, not just black voters, but black people by and large are far more appreciative of socialism, far more invested in left populist agendas, even if they don't end up voting in that direction. Okay? For example, the idea that the black voting bloc is all invested in Haley Stevens and her agenda is completely ridiculous. Not only are black people not a monolith, right? They're not a monolithic force. No one is. But also, black voters in particular are far more anti-ICE than Hispanic voters are, than white voters are. Black people in particular are far more pro-Palestine than white people are, than Hispanic people are. There's poll after poll that is conducted in this fucking country that shows that reality. So even if the black voter bloc is being used as a weapon, right, by the media to say all black people feel this way, black people are opposing, progressive politics, it's fucking bullshit. Okay? Black voters, just like every other voting bloc, is susceptible to television ads, is susceptible to its trusted leaders leading them astray at times. It's that simple. Okay? There's nothing unique. The experience under living in a white supremacist country offers some unique experiences for black people by and large. That's part of the reason why they're more progressive overall. But as far as like older voters being duped, for example, like that's not unique to black voters. Okay? That's not unique. That's just fucking boomers. That's all boomers. Hello? Have you seen white boomers? Do you know what your white relatives are looking at on their Instagram feeds, on their Facebook feeds, what they're getting fucking duped by? It's the same AI bullshit. It's just old people shit. That's all this is. Okay? That's all this is. So yes. So everyone gets duped to a certain degree. It is what it is. Specifically the olds. Okay? There was a story that came out in Kentucky where boomers genuinely thought Thomas Massey was in a throuple with Ilhan Omar and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez because there was an AI ad that suggested that. Okay?
But Sean Duffy...
Yeah, Trump is delivering remarks in Michigan right now.
I was with him on the plane. I said, Sean, did you clear that? No, sir, not yet. I want it done now. Oh, it's done. He knows what it is.
Hezbollah blew up a bus in my city in Europe in 2012 in Sarajevo, Bulgaria. Now is your chance to convince me that I'm wrong for supporting the war in Iran. Will you take that chance? Yeah. How do you think that happens? What do you think will happen as far as like retaliation, as far as blowback goes? Do you think an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind, or do you think an eye for an eye is actually productive? America blows up Iran, and then there are counter movements against that. How do you think that took place initially? Also, you're literally Bulgarian. Like, you're not the main character in your life story. I apologize. As a Turkish person, I totally get, wanting to feel like you have any say in this process. But you're fucking Bulgarian. Okay? And as someone who's Turkish, let me tell you, we are not the main characters in any of these fucking stories. Okay? What difference does your input have in American imperialism? I didn't realize that you were Benjamin Netanyahu in the chat. No, where I come from, we say an eye for a tooth for a jaw. Okay. Well, you're not doing that. You're not even taking revenge on Iran right now. You're just sitting on the internet assuming that you're doing something. Okay? None of this is happening for you. You're just simply responding to it and making yourself feel more powerful, which is what powerless people do. Whether they be powerless Americans who believe that American force projection capabilities will actually make them feel powerful, Okay, same as you? No, exactly, same as me. I'm explaining to you that this is peasant mindset. Okay? Same as myself, yes. The difference between you and I, of course, is that I'm an American citizen as well, and I'm doing my very best to at least like scale back on American imperialism to the best of my ability, which is, you know, a very hard, very long and very steep hill to climb. Okay. But the idea that like a Hezbollah attack in your city in Bulgaria justifies killing 120 little girls in their school with a Tomahawk missile is insane. Okay. By the way, that was an Israeli bus with tourists. It doesn't matter, chatters. I mean, look, civilians are civilians regardless. My point is something different. My point here, the point that I'm making is that you have the capacity to look at this stuff and not immediately demand vengeance from other random parties. If you have this mindset that you know, those Israelis on a bus didn't deserve to fucking die, okay? Then you can extend that to the schoolgirls. You can extend that to the Iranian population. Do their bridges deserve to be blown up? You think their bridges deserve to be blown up. I don't. I'm not in favor of more violence. You realize that one miss in 20,000 plus bombs dropping is nothing? I'm done having this conversation with you because you're a Bulgarian who's defending the Israeli imperial conquest in Iran. And I'm sorry to say this to you, chatter. Like I said, I'm Turkish. I understand wanting to be at the table, wanting to be at the center of this conversation, but you're probably less relevant than a dude that lives in Alabama. Like, you have no say in this whatsoever. Like, the dude that at least pays taxes in Alabama probably has a little bit more of a moral culpability with these actions and probably a little bit more say than you do. You are nothing. You know? It's like when, you know, you see people on Twitter, like Indian people on Twitter coming in to be like, you know, India is a lion too. India supports Israel to the fucking hilt. We're backing Israel to the hilt. You know, it's like, no, you're not. Your takes on this are utterly immaterial. It's completely irrelevant. Like, you're just chirping. You see what I mean? One miss hit is crazy. 100% an Asmold chatter. I can smell the Eurocuck. I know. I don't understand what that mindset is where, you know, you're like, I'm a Bulgarian chatter and I love Donald Trump. I don't think you convinced that chatter, Lamau. I don't have to convince that chatter. He's literally in Bulgaria. His input is utterly immaterial, utterly irrelevant in this conversation. Okay? That's it. Like, a guy comes in here super arrogant and is like, well, you know, it's one fucking school. Who gives a shit? You know, we give authorization to the U.S. to use our bases, so my voice does count, mate. Ow! Yo! This guy thinks he has a fucking say. Yo, that is awesome. Dog, France doesn't have the fucking balls that you think you have. And France has nukes. You think you have a say in the authorization that American... I'm Turkish, motherfucker. Listen, it's very funny that we're having this back and forth right now. It's like me being like, oh, dude, as a Turkish citizen, let me tell you, okay, we are allowing the AWACS planes to fucking fly off of the Incirlik base that also carries American nuclear arms. Like, we don't have a say at all. Dumbass. We're on the fucking cuck chair. We're on the cuck chair, you and I, okay? You're just experiencing patriotism by proxy for some fucking reason. I am Turkish, so it's funny. Okay? It's funny to me, especially as a Turkish person watching this fucking cope from a Bulgarian person. You are not even in the cuck chair. You are not even in the cuck chair in the hotel room. You're in the cuck chair in the hotel room next to you where your wife is getting fucked and you're trying to listen in with a cup to the wall. You're not even in the room, motherfucker. Fuck you mean? Oh, we give America authorization to use our military bases. What is wrong with you? You put a fucking paper cup to the wall to hear your wife get fucked. That's how cucked you are. You're not even in the room. Maybe you're in the hotel lobby calling into the room with the hopes that your wife picks up the phone while getting fucked so you can hear it. Okay? Maybe if you're lucky, you're not even in the same hotel. You're not even in the same zip code. You're not allowed access to the fucking room, and you're over here being like, oh, these are American bases that we give authorization to. Oh, yeah? Go walk into one of them. These are American military bases that you give authorization to? Why don't you go walk into that American military base? Do me a favor. Go walk into that American military base, Bulgarian chatter. Come back with the results. It's on your soil. It's your authorization. You allowed it to happen. Go walk into that base. Damn, Hasan, I be malding live. You think I'm malding? You think this is malding? Of course, it's another fucking Asmongold chatter who thinks he's a part of the team. You're not a part of the team, little bro. Go worry about Marvel movies and Elon Musk funding, sponsoring a Mel Gibson Odysseus movie, okay? Go worry about things that are in your, go worry about things that you can actually wrap your mind around, like titties and video games. You feel me? What is this? I swear to God, all women have a secret fantasy of getting raped. Oh, God. Gross. Of course he's like this. Anyway, let's finish this off. I got to go pee.
The campaign, purely logistics-wise, but I'm always open to a conversation with Mike because he brings in perspectives and insights, and I know that he has regrets about those comments as well.
Okay. We're running out of time. Just before we finish, let's say you win in the primary, you win the general. You are Governor Hong, day one, Wisconsin. What is your number one progressive policy goal on day one as governor of Wisconsin?
A special session to pass common sense gun safety regulation. So background checks, red flag laws, and safe storage. Neither are all bills that are ready to go, but the Republicans have never even given a public hearing. This is bipartisan legislation, common sense gun safety regulations.
Wow. Strong. And last question, I have to ask you this. On top of being the first Democratic Socialist governor in the US, you would also be the first female and first Asian American governor of Wisconsin if you win. How much would achieving that milestone mean to you?
Being the first means very little if you are the last. It puts even more responsibility on building a movement, a broad multiracial coalition to ensure that we have a Wisconsin where everyone feels as though it's a Wisconsin that belongs to them. It would be an honor and a responsibility.
Francesca Hong, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, Mehdi. Take care.
Take care. Did you like this video? Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel and turn on notifications. For exclusive content and to support our independent, unfiltered journalism, head over to zeteo.com.
Bro, this guy's a fucking lib lamau. Wait, Mehdi Hasan? Dude, that's so funny. Yes, he is. Fran defended me, average Mike from PA fan, by the way. Yeah, I mean, look. I think tackling the form is good. That's what Abdul does, and I like the way he does it because there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that we're not going to be embroiled in other controversies later down the line. You don't want to fucking turn around and unconditionally offer full-blown loyalty and support to a guy like myself, to a guy like Michael from Pennsylvania. Even if we don't deserve the controversy, it still doesn't matter, right? These are fast-paced campaigns in a media environment that revolves around clipping and bad faith smears, okay? So I think tackling the form is the appropriate way to go. Because you never know. I mean, look, I wore a fucking Chinese suit. All of a sudden, it turned into a major issue, right? You never know. You don't want to come across like you're defending Maoism in Michigan, right? Most people are going to look at you and be like, what the fuck is that? I don't understand. So that's my take. That's understandable. Of course you're going to do that. What do you mean? You're going to be like, this is a Twitch streamer, right? Many people defend you on Twitter. No, that's for politicians. If you're in my community, of course, you can offer proper context to people. That's normal. That's understandable. I'm talking about like a politician that doesn't have the time to just like dial in and learn about all the different fake quotes that people throw around, right? That's not my expectation. Because like my expectation is politicians are not going to be in here every day, okay? Maybe one day there will be a full-blown Hasan head that runs for office. That could definitely happen. But that day is not today. Wait. What did you think about Sarah Homer's abysmal display on Fox News over the weekend? I would love to hear your take on it. I don't know what you're talking about. As an Oibrov derogatory, these Europe people being slaves to American imperialism will never not shock me. Then again, as I said, I'm from the UK. We're not better in any way. Yeah, no. Look, what actually confuses me about this process is like, these are events that are unfolding. You can have a take on them. It's normal, right? Everybody has an opinion on what Americans are doing, what America is doing. What I don't understand is why out of all the opinions you could choose, you're taking the one that is like antithetical to your existence, antagonistic to your existence. Like, why would you choose the one attitude that actually puts you in the cuck seat? It's normal to have an opinion. It's normal to have takes. It's normal to disagree with my opinion. It's normal to disagree with the American position. But what I don't understand is why you would actively, the DSA co-chair on Fox News talking about the positions of being completely unprepared. I don't think that's the case. I think people are being, first of all, that's not Sarah Homer. You're talking about Megan Romer, I believe. And secondly, you got to cool on that, okay? She did okay. I think a lot of people just expect every person that is in DSA in any capacity to not only speak like Zoran, but also have the same, much more moderated positions of Zoran. That's not how this works. Okay? That's not how this works at all. I don't even think that Megan and Zoran are even in agreement on many of these issues. I think she did perfectly fine. You know, it's just DSA is a big tent organization. There's members on the left, members on the right, members that disagree with one another all the time. It's a big, beautiful, complex process. It's also known as democracy, right? Yeah, Megan is far more left-wing than Zoran is. And these are results. You have to admit that Bulgarian chatter would have been the perfect janissary. NATO currently occupies his country, yet he rides and dies for it. Yes. Yes, 100%. Americans talk about liberating Eastern Europe, but they are utilizing the same tall boys in the exact same way that the Ottomans did. Okay, they're using them in the front lines. They're using them as the American janissaries, and it makes me a little jealous that America gets to do it as the son of Ottomans, as an Ottoman son. The South Carolina seat is lost. What is this? I can't understand how anyone claiming to fight for working people could hold and promote such ludicrous beliefs. These beliefs don't reflect American values, and they certainly don't represent South Carolina. If this is what the DSA stands for, it's completely un-American and unhinged, says Dr. Annie Andrews. This is the woman who's running against Lindsey Graham. So I think this kind of stuff is very stupid. It just makes you look weak. That's it. So, was running against Lindsey Graham. Now running against possibly Lindsey Graham's sister. I apologize. Lindsey Graham is dead. So here's the thing. This kind of stuff makes everybody look weak. Okay? Do you see Republicans apologizing for the behavior of their right flank? Has Lindsey Graham done that? He's dead now. His sister. Will Lindsey Graham's sister do that? Do you think that happens? Do you think that's a thing that has ever happened? No, it's not. Anyway, let's continue. So, Jared Moskowitz dropping out of the debate. Let's take a look.
Which just dropped out of tonight's debate hosted by the Broward and Miami-Dade Democratic Black Caucuses. I will be there regardless, debating an empty lectern where Jared Moskowitz refuses to stand, because unlike him, I will show up for each and every South Florida constituency of voters that I'm seeking to represent in the United States Congress. And this is one of the clear contrasts in our race. This is why the South Florida Sun-Sentinel refused to endorse Jared Moskowitz for the first time in any one of his previous campaigns for office, stating that his unwillingness to engage me publicly shows an unwillingness to defend his own record, a lack of respect for voters, and that his lack of public town halls or constituent engagement falls far short of what the people of South Florida deserve. This is happening in a moment where Tallahassee Republicans and the Supreme Court are attacking Black political representation across our state of Florida and across the South. I'm proud to stand with the Broward and Miami-Dade Black Caucuses and answer their questions, to respond to the concerns of Black South Florida voters and any voters, which is why we've been having public town halls, why we just launched our largest canvas of this campaign over the weekend, knocking on thousands of doors, because I'm here to represent you, and I will continue to show up tonight and every single day through this primary election and through November 3rd. This is the representation that South Floridians deserve, and we will continue to fight for it.